Lord Tremendous here, got another battle report here for you. 2,000 point battle, Warriors of Chaos versus Warriors of Chaos. I play a really cool guy this game. He was in the S-Bot too, and we've been playfully talking trash the entire time because, you know, like I said, he's a pretty cool dude. And finally, I've done so poorly in the finals. I think I'm dead last. I think the only reason I'm not 16th out of 16th is because 2 people dropped. So I just did not perform well at all. Learned a lot, had a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a great experience, great tournament, and I can't wait for the third one to come out. But yeah, I did not do well in the finals. Did great in the preliminaries, not so much in the finals. But Combo Skipper is my opponent for this one, and real cool guy, great list, very skilled player, and I can't wait to get into the carnage.
Here's my list, and I'm still changing things up, still trying some stuff, and in this one I made some decent changes, starting with my characters. I'm at 811 points total. I have a Demon Prince at 460 points. He's my general. He's got the Mark of Chaos Undivided and Fly 9. Level 4 Wizard with Demonology, and I gave him the Demonic Plate Mail, the Spell Familiar, and a Tome of the Dark Gods. And the idea behind this was he's mostly just a spell slinger. You know, he runs around, tries to get in position to get opportune charges, like if I see a unit of archers or some light cav or something like that I know he's going to be able to hopefully mostly just destroy. Because my experience, Demon Princes in combat is a great way to just get him to lose by a few points and disintegrate. He's got no stomps, he's got no real... I mean, he's toughness 5, but that's why I gave him the Demonic Plate Mail. It's toughness 6, initiative 7, he's got the Spell Familiar, so I'm most likely going to get the Assailment. Tome of the Dark Gods gives him a bunch of magic missiles, and Fly 9, he moves farther and can shoot farther than any other option, really. So I went with it to give it a shot. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I'm really wary of Demon Princes because they're so fragile. I also give him Poisonous Slime because I had the points left over, and I figured, why not? Might as well make him poison as well. My Sorcerer Lord, Lord Tremendous, he doesn't have his chariot right now. He's on a Chaos Steed. He's a level 4 wizard with Battle Magic, Mark Zinch. He's got the Spell Familiar, Infernal Puppet, Favor of the Gods, Ruby Ring of Ruin. Pretty standard kit. In core, I made some changes here. I've got 593 points, which is a little bit more than usual. And instead of Warhounds, I took 5 Marauder Horsemen. 95 points, but they're Mark Korn. I gave him the standard musician, flails, shields, light armor, javelins, give him some staying power, give him some versatility, and give him some punch. The idea is they're going to be hopefully more useful than the Warhounds, because for the most part I see myself just running with them at about turn 3 and just trying to save their points. I've got 6 Chaos Knights. There's no change here. Full Command, Lances, Icon of Darkness, Brazen Collar, and Mark Korn. And the other one, same thing, only they've got the Rampaging banner. Everything else is the exact same. For special, I've just got my 2 Dragon Ogres. One has a great weapon, a Blackened Plate. The other one has a Halberd, because I needed a point, and heavy armor. So just kind of backup Dragon Ogre. Still cool to have. Still can issue challenges. He's pretty tough. And then in rare, I took the Warpfire Dragon with all the fixins, because I've been apprehensive about taking him. I don't like the idea of basically having a 435 point monster on the table, but he's got decent, if not weird, saves. I like the idea of him taking away ward saves, but I don't know how I'm going to use him. Curious about the Stone Thrower, basically. Lots of things to try out. This is very much a test list, and I'm curious to see how it works. Here's my opponent's list, and it's very similar to mine. He's got 860 points in characters. He's got a Demon Prince as his general, the Mark Zinch and Fly 9. He's a level 4 wizard with Battle Magic, Armor of Meteoric Iron, Spell Familiar, Favor of the Gods ×2, and a Scepter of Power. He also put Enchanting Aura on his. He's got a Sorcerer Lord on a Demonic Mount, level 4 wizard with Battle Magic, Spell Familiar, Infernal Puppet, Favor of the Gods, and a Ruby Ring of Ruin. Very familiar kit out. In core, he's got exactly 500 points, starting off with 14 Forsaken and a Forsaken Acorn, which is a very cool choice. And then he's got 2 units of 7 Marauders, Mark of Chaos Undivided, Light Armor, Shield, Javelins, Flails, and he's got a Horsemaster and a Musician in both. In special, he's got a massive unit of Dragon Ogres, 4 of them. One's a unit champion, and they've all got heavy armor and great weapons. And then in rare, he's got a Warpfire Dragon with none of the trimmings, but just as dangerous.
Here are the spells I got for this game. My Demon Prince got the Summoning, Blue Flame, Fleshy Abundance, Demonic Familiars and Demonic Vessel. My level 4 Lord Tremendous got Blue Flame, Fireball, Pillar of Flame, Arcane Urgency, and Oaken Shield. Useless, I know. And then my Warp Fire Dragon got Hammerhand and Oaken Shield. Useful for him. For my opponent's Demon Prince, he got Fireball, Pillar of Flame, Arcane Urgency, Blue Flame, and Cowardly Flight. And his level 4 on a Demonic Mount got Fireball, Arrow Attraction, Pillar of Flame, Blue Flame, and Cowardly Flight. So it's Warriors of Chaos versus Warriors of Chaos. So here's deployment, and there was very little subtlety, at least in mine. My opponent, maybe he had a grander plan. You'll see how that worked out for him. But with mine, it was like, I know we're going to charge across the table and beat the crap out of each other. So my knights are on either flank of my dragon. I've got my level 4 on the right there. Or, I'm sorry, on the left, because he's going to try to get the puppet as close to his casters as possible without getting himself killed. I've got a Dragon Ogre in the center next to the Knights to give him a little bit extra support. If I can get them both into his Dragon Ogres, I'll feel pretty good about that. And then on the right flank, I've got my Demon Prince, my Marauder Horseman, and my other Dragon Ogre. That's the 2-up, 3-up. And the idea is to sweep through his flank there, take out the Marauder Horseman, take out the Forsaken, slam into those really dangerous Dragon Ogres of his, and then just see what I can do afterwards. That was the entire plan. Go forward, smash, yay. On his side there, on the left side, he's got his Marauder Horseman right next to his Sorcerer Lord on a Demonic Mount, next to his Demon Prince. Next to them is the Warp Fire Dragon. In the woods are 4 very scary Dragon Ogres, great weapons, all the trimmings. Then he's got his 14 Forsaken and his unit of Marauder Horsemen. Like I said, both of our lists are similar. I went more knight heavy, he went more skill heavy. So, it's a really good fight. So, yeah, I was excited to play this one. Here's top 1 after movement. My opponent got to go first, and I mean, it's Warriors of Chaos. He fired forward with pretty much everything, not as far as he could go, which was smart. My charge range is almost as far as, well, is actually a little bit farther than his in a lot of cases, but enough to be threatening and enough to get some spells off. The only thing that didn't come straight forward was his Warp Fire Dragon. He seemed to be going after the Knights, maybe my Demon Prince. Either way, totally fine. And his Demon Prince and Sorcerer Lord stuck together and stayed pretty much right on our left flank there up against the house. So, nothing crazy. So really nothing happens in the rest of his turn. He does shoot with his Warpfire Dragon, and it deviates. He gets some partials, but nothing actually wounds. And then in his magic phase, he ended up casting 1 spell. But again, I think he miscast 4. The template was on his Demon Prince. It partially hit his Sorcerer Lord, but he was able to make both the saves. So really nothing happened there. He did get Pillar of Flame off, as you can see here in the bottom of 1. And he moved it towards my Knights, but it didn't actually hit them. And so we go into my turn, and my guys move forward. My Knights in the center there, they're frenzied, his Dragon Ogres were in range, and I had the charge, and they actually made it, which was really cool. I put my Dragon Ogre up as much as he could go, because he wasn't in range to actually charge anything. My Demon Prince gets Fleshy Abundance off, so he's a little bit harder to hurt now. Pretty much everything needs 6s. And my Marauder Horseman, I guess he shot at him or something like that, because 3 of them are dead, 2 or 3 of them are dead. I don't exactly remember what happened. I didn't get a picture, is what it is. So I moved him forward to where you see now, and the Dragon Ogre fired forward, daring his Marauder Horseman to charge him. That was pretty much it. We go into the shooting phase, and between my Marauder Horsemen throwing their javelins and my Demon Prince getting his spell off, we obliterate all of the Marauder Horsemen that were on the right flank, which is a really good start to my plan of sweep the flank. I fire my Warpfire Dragon at his Demon Prince. It deviates a little bit. I get 2 partials. Nothing actually wounds. So we go into combat. And my Knights don't flub. My Knights actually do a ton of hits, a ton of wounds. It was great. My opponent made a truckload of saves. He did issue a challenge with his unit champion. I think I did a wound to his unit champion. He did 2 or 3 to mine, just murdering him outright. He killed 2 of my Knights. I killed 1 of his ogres, leaving a wound on another. I win this combat. He falls back in good order, and then automatically rallies and turns face like that. My Knights are frenzied. I have to pursue. I charge back into him, slamming into him, and we end up like this. So it's not looking great for the Knights, unfortunately. They're probably going to get countercharged by the Marauders. Possibly the Warpfire Dragon is what I'm thinking at this time. At least they do have their initiative and their lances against the Dragon Ogres, but, well, we'll see what happens. All right, that takes us over here to top of 2 after movement. And yeah, his Marauder Horsemen do charge into the flank of my Knights. Very smart move, and they make it no problem. His Warp Fire Dragon charges my exposed Dragon Ogre. I won't lie, I did not see that coming. I should have, I just wasn't paying attention, and that's on me. Not that I'm super worried about it. If he kills my Dragon Ogre, which he probably will, the best he could do is stand and then turn and face my dragon, and I would probably just turn and face him back, is what it is. And then on the right side there, his Forsaken turn around and dare me to charge. I have no intention of that. I plan on using magic. That's the entire point of this army. So adorable as this might be, it'll be a magic fight rather than a close combat fight. I know, not very Warriors of Chaos of me, but magic is where, my meat and potatoes are. On the left side there, my Knights on the side got hit by the Pillar of Flame and proceeded to let 2 die. Big problem with me and my Chaos Knights is I tend not to remember to have them zip up their armor when we play a game. So, oh, so frustrating. But hey, it is what it is, and that's it for movement. In the magic phase, my opponent gets blue flame off on my little baby sorcerer with the infernal puppet and slips a wound through. So he's not dead yet, but he's thinking about it. That was pretty much it. So we go into combat, and it's exactly what you think. His Marauder Horsemen are able to just obliterate my Knights. It's a little embarrassing. I think I put one more wound through on the Dragon Ogres. Again, they didn't flub. He was just making his saves like they were a 1-up. It was insane. His Marauder Horsemen and the Dragon Ogres were able to kill the rest of my Knights, and, well, that's all she wrote for them, really. I believe the Dragon Ogres failed their restraint test and had to stay still, and I think the Marauders just either they fire forward or they just stay where they're at and go back into skirmish formation. I don't remember, and I don't have a picture of it. In combat over here, he's able to obliterate my Dragon Ogre. I do put a wound on his Warfire Dragon, so yay, but yeah, he's able to obliterate him, and he ends up not restraining, firing forward a few inches, not very far, and then he overruns, and then he fails his leadership check to reform. So he ends up facing down towards my deployment zone, not towards anything, so he can't charge again next turn, which is kind of a nice reprieve. That takes us to the bottom of 2, and not a lot happens my turn. I fire my Marauder Horsemen forward just because I don't really want them to have to charge anything or do anything. I fly my Demon Prince over the house just to get into the flank of the Forsaken to unload my magic at him. The Dragon Ogre comes over to kind of threaten that side a little bit, and the one remaining Knight I have after the Pillar of Flame goes through him, and then I march through it and fail one of my dangerous terrain checks, is looking at the Sorcerer Lord and the Demon Prince. He tried to charge the Sorcerer Lord, and all I got for my trouble was a dead Knight, so that sucked. Still not moving my Warpfire Dragon. I get Oak and Shield off on him, but I mean, mostly useless. My other caster just kind of moves up a little bit to keep the Infernal Puppet on him. I'm playing awful. I don't like the Demon Prince. I don't like the Warpfire Dragon. I don't know how to use them. Not that there's anything wrong with either of them. I'm just not playing them well. I realize it at this point, but I don't know how to fix it. I'm not thinking. Sitting on my shoulders has become comfortable, I guess, but that's really all I have for movement. In the magic phase, my Demon Prince gets a lot of his magic missiles off because I'm out of range of both the puppet and his level 4. And I take out 7, I believe, of the Forsaken. So cutting him in half was really, really nice. And then I take aim into his Demon Prince with Puff the Magic Moron, and I misfire. He puts a wound on himself, which is just fantastic, and we move on to the next. As promised, here's top of 3 after movement, and not a ton. Like, it's just a very slow game. His Pillar of Flame goes through the remaining Knight and murders him, and honestly, at this point, I'm so disgusted with my Knights. That unit of Knights. My other unit of Knights did really, really well against the Dragon Ogres. They just got overwhelmed, and I have no problem with that. But yeah, his guys all move around a little bit in the center, mostly staying where they're at. The Forsaken move forward, forcing the charge from the Dragon Ogre and the Marauder Horseman. Not that I think he really thinks that was a great combat for him. I think he just didn't want the flank charge from the Demon Prince. His Warpfire Dragon turns to face mine. As you can see, he targets my level 2, but it doesn't hurt him. And that's really it for the entire turn. No spells get off, no combat occurs. It's really a slower game than I was expecting. So here's bottom of turn 3. I get Oaken Shield off on my Warp Fire Dragon again. Both my Marauder Horsemen have to charge, and the Dragon Ogre just wants to charge. Why not? I bring my Demon Prince up to fire spells off at his Dragon Ogres and maybe his Warp Fire Dragon, just in the vain hope in order to try to do a little something. My level 2 moves behind the woods so that he can't be charged by his crazy-ass dragon, yet still keep at least one of his casters within 24-inch range. And then my Warpfire Dragon shoots forward, daring something to charge it, because I start to realize I have a dragon. What am I waiting on? And that's really it for movement. Yeah, I realized it too late. I know! So we go into the magic phase, and my Demon Prince fires off all of his magic missiles at the Dragon Ogre. The ones that, enough of them go off where basically I kill an entire Dragon Ogre. There's one that's healthy, and his unit champion still has a wound on him. But not bad. I'm whittling them down slowly but surely. Then we go over here to the Puppet Master, who gets Blue Flame off on his level 4 Sorcerer, and ends up putting 3 wounds on him, which was fantastic. However, in order to get that spell off, the Puppet Master was Infernal Puppeted and miscast, I think 10 or 11? Doesn't matter, same friggin' result. It went off irresistible, he's done casting for the rest of the turn, and ups his wound tally to 2. One more, and he's out of there. And trust me, my opponent noticed. But he also brought the Sorcerer Lord down to 1 wound, so it was a really cool exchange. That brings us to combat, and between the Marauder Horseman's attacks and the Dragon Ogre's attacks and the Forsaken attacks, my Marauder Horsemen like this. It's unfortunate. I really didn't want to charge my Marauder Horsemen in there, but they were frenzied. I didn't have a choice, and exactly what should have happened. I wish I had just broke the unit and overran far enough that he could have gone into it with his remaining Dragon Ogres, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'll take what I can get. It's looking like the Forsaken are probably done next turn. Speaking of next turn, here's top before after movement, and really it's more of just kind of putting pressure on me, which is really smart. He ignores the bait of the Warpfire Dragon, which is a little disappointing, but again, my opponent is very good at this game, so it shouldn't surprise me, but I'm bad at this game, so it did. Anyway, he's going after my Puppet Master, and that makes sense. Both of his mages are coming after him. He surrounds them with his horsemen so that if I do go after his sorcerer again, it'll be more difficult. He'll get lookout sirs. I won't be able to target him. You get the drill. His remaining 2 Dragon Ogres come after my Demon Prince, begging that idiot to charge him, and I'm not doing that. And then his Warpfire Dragon just kind of turns to face my Warpfire Dragon to put more pressure on him. That's it for movement. The only thing he does in the magic phase, the only thing he needs to do in the magic phase is murk my mage. I mean, just geeked him completely out of oblivion. Wasn't even close. I think it was Blue Flame, because that's probably the best magic missile in the game. And yes, Puppet Master goes straight back to the warp for retraining. I'm not upset with him. He did really, really well. That takes us to combat, and my Dragon Ogre is able to smash the remaining Forsaken, taking no wounds in return, and then he turns to face the Dragon Ogres that came forward, because getting them in the flank is probably the only way I'm going to win this combat. That's really it. So, we go to bottom of 4, and yeah, my Dragon Ogre goes into the flank. I thought about putting my Demon Prince in as well, but honestly, it just made more sense to stick around. He's got 2 Pillar of Flames running around, and the way I've been making saves, it wouldn't go well. So I figured, you know what, let the Dragon Ogre go in there and see if that flank and his attacks do anything. You'll see how that goes. And then the Demon Prince just kind of prepares himself to fire as many spells off as he can to try to kill as many of these units off as he can, so maybe I can still win this game. The Warpfire Dragon marches the hell away because he doesn't want to get charged by the other Warp Flame Dragon, and that's really it. I didn't really have any spells long enough range to hurt anything like that I could actually destroy, so I fired off what I had at the Warp Flame Dragon, and I'm actually able to slip a wound through, so not terrible at all. We go into combat, and my Dragon Ogre does great. He does 3 wounds to the Dragon Ogre he's in combat with, so I got 3 wounds and a flank to close order. I win by 3. His Demon Prince is just outside of 12 inches, so I'm like, awesome! He might break. He rolls snakes. I actually took the screenshot with everything just to show he rolled snakes. He gives ground, I pursue. Damn it! I mean, yeah, he could have gave ground. He could have rolled well to just fall back in good order, which is most likely what was going to happen. But this was my chance. Oh, curse you, dice. So here's top of turn 5. And this is where my opponent really outplays me. Just his general knowledge with the army is so much better than mine. He moves his Warp Fire Dragon within 3 inches of my Demon Prince. And guess who forgot all about the chaos things? Basically, its ability to negate your ward save. Completely forgot about that. Demon Princes don't get their regen save against magic, so he's gonna magic missile my Demon Prince, and all I'm gonna have is pathetic little armor save, which is mostly gonna be negated by the AP of his spells. Very well played by my opponent. I did not see this coming until the magic phase when he told me about it. Didn't hide it. It's not his fault. It's 100% on me. I got outplayed, and, well, you get to see what happens. So I get really, really, really lucky, and my opponent gets his spell. He gets a couple of the spells off, but I'm able to like negate a lot of the wounds because he wasn't rolling a lot of 6s. And instead of completely obliterating my Demon Prince, he does 2 wounds to him. So he's okay, but I mean, if you're a pessimist, he's half dead. If you're an optimist, he will be dead eventually. I don't really know, but not ideal at all. From there, we go into combat. My Dragon Ogre is able to obliterate the 1 and put 2 wounds on the unit champion because it's just the way the wounds flowed. He loses combat. He falls back in good order. He's back right here, and he turns the face. So I only got to do 1 more wound to him. Just 1 more. We'll see what happens. So we go to bottom of 5, and I'm really out of moves. My Demon Prince runs away because I'm like, I don't know what to do. But he only goes 9 inches because I want to be able to shoot my magic. And the Warp Fire Dragon moves forward a little bit to hope and pray that I can put that last wound on his Sorcerer Lord. That's it for movement. In the magic phase, with my spells, I'm able to do 5 wounds to the Marauder Horseman. Not enough to smoke the entire unit, but it definitely took him down to almost nothing, which was really, really nice. And then I do fire with the Warp Fire Dragon, and it deviates a couple of inches, so I get a partial on the Sorcerer Lord. I actually do wound, but he makes his save no problem. It was the most likely outcome because, duh, with his saves and everything like that, but damn it, I wanted to kill him. With that, we go into combat, and my Dragon Ogre is able to do it. He puts that final wound through on the final Dragon Ogre. I desperately, desperately tried to overrun into his Demon Prince and fell short, as you can see here. But you know what? My Dragon Ogre did awesome. Finished off the Forsaken, finished off the Dragon Ogres. He's 92 points of fuck you, and I love every single point that he encompasses. Very happy with his performance. With that, we go to top of 6, and the Pillar of Flame almost hits my Warp Fire Dragon, and then his Warp Fire Dragon charges into my Demon Prince. He makes it no problem, and yeah, it's all over but the crying. Nothing happens in his magic phase, so we go into combat, and his dragon obliterates my Demon Prince. It's not even close. No ward save. I believe he's got magical attacks. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. He rips right through my armor for the most part. I think I had a 6 up tops. And yeah, he was able to put 2 wounds through him. No problem. I don't blame the Demon Prince for this. I played him very, very poorly, very, very cowardly, and getting into range so that the dragon could charge me was just stupid. And yeah, was what it was. I blame myself, and this is exactly what should happen. So, damn it. We go to the bottom of 6, but nothing happens. All I've got left is my Dragon Ogre, who can't charge anything, and my Warp Fire Dragon, who I believe took another wound maybe when the Pillar of Flame went through him, or it went through him and did nothing. Either way, it doesn't really matter. The Warp Fire Dragon fires, doesn't misfire, but deviates like 10 inches into failure. Again, I don't fully blame the Warp Fire Dragon. I did not like having him on the field. I didn't know how to use him, and it didn't feel good. I much prefer the gigantic spawn. I don't know what it is. The Warp Fire Dragon just didn't do it for me. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the game right there. Just played poorly. I did. I was afraid with my Demon Prince. I was afraid with my Warp Fire Dragon. My Knights on the left flank there just opened up their shirts for the opponent, who just drove it in straight to the sternum. The Knights on the right side there, they did well. They slammed into Dragon Ogres and did really well against them, but the Marauder Horsemen, it was just too much of a combo for them to do anything, and this is the way it should have played out. My opponent outplayed me. I was timid. He played them aggressively, and aggressive is how you're going to play Warriors of Chaos. So it was a good game. I got no complaints. I learned a lot. I'm probably going to try the Demon Prince again, and if I do, he's going to mirror my opponent's Demon Prince kit because it's awesome. And I'm looking forward to getting to the recap, so let's jump to it.
Oh man, I got my butt kicked in this one. I'm probably going to steal his kit if I run another Demon Prince. His kit was far superior and very, very cool. I liked it a lot. This was a test list, but I was way too cautious with it. I didn't know how to use the dragon, and the Demon Prince scares the hell out of me. With only 4 wounds, he's unstable, and I like to fail my saves. I like to flub my rolls in combat. I was trying to use him more as a magic user, but there was no punch in my list that I felt confident in. And I felt like I didn't have as many points on the table as my opponent. I know that's stupid, but I wasn't confident in my list at all. Like I said, I had no idea how to use the Warfire Dragon. I tried to use him like a Hell Cannon, and that was really stupid. I should have just plunged him into combat without hesitation. I made a mistake. I blame my performance on cowardice. I was thinking about this game afterwards. I should have sent my dragon directly into his Demon Prince and his Sorcerer Lord as soon as I saw them grouped up. Yeah, he would have evaded, he would have moved him around, he probably would have marched and flown and all that other good stuff, but I probably could have gotten at least one, or at least forced him to march to stop some of his casting. There's a bunch of stuff I could have done better. Using him as a stone thrower was the stupidest thing I could have done, and played right into his strong points. And my opponent was smart to take advantage of my ignorance. Like I said, he was a lot more skilled with the Warriors of Chaos than I am, and he's just a better player. I mean, I think he placed in the top 5 in the Square-based online tournament, so he's really, really good at this game, and I brought my F game, and it showed! But that all being said, super cool dude, super educational, taught me a lot, showed me a lot of things, and was super humble about the whole thing, even though he's a vastly superior opponent. Really enjoyed the game, and I'm hoping I get a rematch one day. So skulls for the Skull Throne. I didn't win the game, but I feel like I won the favor of the gods. I want to believe that. Don't take that from me. Adding to my Warriors of Chaos pile, I did not get any of his characters. Not from lack of trying, just from lack of skill, really. And then in core, he didn't have any Warhounds, but I did get 12 more Marauder Horsemen, and they're pretty beefy, so I felt good about that. There were no Knights on the table, but I did kill over a dozen Forsaken, bringing my new total to 14, because I'd never run into them before. So that was kind of neat. In special, I did kill all 4 Dragon Ogres, which had to make the Dark Gods happy. And then, of course, in rare, I didn't get anything. But still, I brought those numbers up pretty significantly in some pretty solid categories. And while it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. I'm pretty happy about this. My pile still overflows with Wood Elf corpses and just a sprinkling of Tomb Kings. A respectable amount of Chaos Dwarves and Orcs. Well, maybe not Orcs and Goblins, but there's still some on there, and I'll take it. And the Bretonnians, I'm getting happier with the numbers. And that's it. Another battle report is in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. And as always, thanks!